World of heroes wielding swords and magic, Heroes Continent. At this very moment, this place currently has a large-scale massive war taking place due to the Demon Queen launching an all-out war against all the races. With the help of the Demon Queen's oppressive strength, the Demon Queen's army was like a hot knife through butter in their attacks, and the empires of the various races fell to ruin one after the other very quickly. Only the human race remained steadfast in their resistance. But alas, because of the internal strife and rebellions amongst the humans, their empire collapsed along with their defenses. Humans surrender, and just like that, she was dubbed the strongest demon queen in history. Elizabeth as well as secured her position as the only ruler of this world. It was a complete domination. At the human empire on the edge of destruction, a priest was still struggling and fighting with Demon Queen army. Priest shouted, telling Elizabeth to don't think she have won with this alone. In the future, she will definitely be defeated completely by their hero, just like in the legends, Queen's Guard. Kick that priest in face. He is human prince, Wise Malfoy, and the priest he just kicked is Wise Malfoy's teacher, Priest Barrow. Wise Malfoy asked Priest Barrow to please get things straight, because right now, Her Majesty isn't asking for his opinion. She's giving him an order. Priest Barrow yelled that it's all bullshit, and Wise Malfoy is a patricide committing, enemy welcoming, traitor of the human race. Priest Barrow even cultivated him as if he were the prophesied hero in vain. Wise Malfoy get angry to hear Priest Barrow's nonsense. He told Priest Barrow that since he miss Wise Malfoy's useless father of his so much, Wise Malfoy will just let Priest Barrow join him. Wise Malfoy unleashed his demon hand and transformed it into Demon's arm. But when was Malfoy strike at Priest Barrow, a dark shadow appeared behind him telling him to stay his hand. Wise Malfoy stopped his attack right before it hit Priest Barrow. Wise Malfoy knees in front of that shadow. That shadow asked Priest Barrow that since he said that he will stand by human side in the future and it will end Demon Queen's defeat, so he better explain what he mean to this queen, Oregon, else his death would not be an easy one. The existence standing in front of Priest Barrow is Demon Queen, Elizabeth. Elizabeth threatened Priest Barrow by telling him that this queen has 1,000 different ways to make him suffer a fate worse than death. Priest Barrow was too scared to see his death in Elizabeth's eyes. He started telling her that the prophecy states that when the prophesied hero pulls out the holy sword, it will be the day the demon race's reign comes to an end. The holy sword is the sword embedded in the stone platform in the main hall. After telling her everything, Priest Barrow said he will never tell her. He will never betray the human race. Priest Barrow has lost his mind to fear. Elizabeth looks at stone platform in which Holy Sword, Alpha, was embedded. The legends tell of the hero receiving the right to challenge this queen because he pulls out this sword. As Elizabeth put her hand on that holy sword, she thought that it's interesting. Elizabeth said this queen shall look forward to his arrival here then. Since then Elizabeth was waiting. But the first year under Elizabeth's reign ended while waiting. Then second year under Elizabeth's reign ended while waiting, as well as third, fourth and fifth year ended, and now it's the 15th year under Elizabeth's reign. Under the Demon Queen's absolute rule, all the past practices and inequalities amongst the races were all abolished. Everyone was able to get along on equal standing without disputes. Everyone was able to live in peace and harmony, developing together. Very quickly, Heroes Continent began thriving and flourishing. Additionally, because they were afraid of the rare peace being destroyed, an anti-hero alliance emerged. They resolutely rejected the arrival of the prophesied hero, Demon Empire, at the initial Human Empire meeting hall. Demon Queen Elizabeth asked her subordinate, do they have any news on the prophesied hero, Chancellor of the Elf race? Twilio reported to Elizabeth that the Elf race has already mobilized all the tree insects to search, but they could not find a single piece of information regarding the prophesied hero, Chancellor of the Dwarf race. Heimerdinger told Elizabeth that the dwarves are not very good at collecting information, but according to the information compiled from every weapon store around, there has been nobody suspicious. Chancellor of the human race, Aristotle said that he believed that even if that prophesied hero does make his appearance, him standing up against them will be in vain, so they need not worry about him at all. Chancellor of the demon race, Jim whispered and told Aristotle that Her Majesty isn't afraid of the prophesied hero. Instead, she really wants him to come. In order to act in response to that prophecy, Her Majesty gathered all sorts of ancient books on magic and war tactics to research. Chancellor of the Beast Man race, Muggle told Aristotle that as long as Her Majesty wills it, she could annihilate Heroes Continent in a split second. Twilio said that it's that idiot Barrow's fault. What prophecy? It's just a load of nonsense. With Her Majesty ruling, it is their fortune. They can just let the prophesied hero die. Suddenly, someone entered yelling, reject the hero in the hall. Heimerdinger said, "Speak of Barrow, and he shall appear." Initially High Priest of the human race, now President of the Demon Queen Fan Club, President of the Anti-Prophesied Hero Association. Barrow Smith, he was shouting, "Support the reign of Her Majesty, the Demon Queen, reject the arrival of the hero." Demon Queen with one flick of her finger grabbed Priest Barrow by neck. Elizabeth was too angry. She asked Priest Barrow to explain himself to this queen. Where is that prophesied hero? Priest Barrow was too scared. He told her that, actually, the prophecy doesn't necessarily have to be accurate. When the target exceeds the expectations of the prophecy, like Your Majesty, for example, was Malfoy greets the Demon Queen and said that Priest Barrow is right. It is a great offense to take that stupid prophecy and apply it to Her Majesty. It is too great an offense. Her Majesty need not take offense in the slightest. This official has had new findings recently. Elizabeth hit was Malfoy with her tail and in cold voice told him to get lost. Was Malfoy was scared? He said he understood. Elizabeth threw Priest Barrow and shouted that her subordinates are bunch of trash. Elizabeth said, "The king have reached the peak of the world, holding the power of the world." She wait for the legendary hero to challenge her and then become his stepping stone to fame. She have studied all the ancient magic books of the hero continent, and after countless hardships, she created the doomsday magic to wait for Hero's challenge. But Hero is nowhere to be seen. Where is he? She was looking at the holy sword and getting angry thinking all this. Then she put her hand of the holy sword and said that since Hero isn't coming to her, Jim, Twilia and all the Chancellor were scared, asking Queen Elizabeth that she don't mean to. Elizabeth shouted that she'll go to herself then. Elizabeth grabbed the holy sword and tried to unleash it. There was a huge shockwave of aura around Elizabeth. It was hard of Elizabeth to pull out the holy sword, so she used all her power to and concentrate on holy sword. All the chancellors were scared to see Elizabeth's power. They couldn't believe that Demon Queen is really going to pull out Hero's sword. Suddenly, a huge energy light beam comes out of the rooftop of the Queen's palace, and the Demon Queen Elizabeth successfully pull out the holy sword. Elizabeth looks at the holy sword and thought that who said that only the legendary hero can pull it out? She can do it too. When Elizabeth was holding the holy sword, she got a vision of a faraway mountain range. And on top of a mountain, there is a house. She thought that legendary hero is hiding there. Elizabeth raised her hand and used Labus magic. A magic circle appeared. The magic she going to use was forced teleportation. When was Malfoy saw that she is going, he runs towards her asking her to please let him continue to serve her by her side. But he was too slow, and Elizabeth teleported. Was Malfoy could only get her one hair. He was too sad because his master left him. On the other hand, at the newbie village, the legendary hero was wearing farming clothes and was holding an axe. He said that farming is too peaceful. His name is La Ping. In reality, he is just an ordinary office worker living a dull life, not fond of playing games or watching anime. The only pleasure is probably watching his favorite short videos on the way to work. When he was watching some short video, he said he's so envious, if only he could live like this too. And the next moment he teleported in this world. He was confused at first, but under the guidance of the newbie system, he slowly learned the basic survival skills here. He don't know anything about this different world at all. But it doesn't matter. Isn't this the kind of pastoral life that he want? His body is much healthier than when he was working. But one day while he was working, the newbie system told him that after this period of newbie training, La Ping have fully met the conditions to leave the newbie village. So system asked him to please start his adventure. La Ping asked system that isn't it fine now? Why do we have to leave? Newbie system told La Ping that after leaving the newbie village, La Ping will meet all kinds of other people in this world. He can learn various skills of sword and magic from them, become the legendary hero and kill the Demon King. So please start your adventure. But system was shocked to hear that La Ping don't want to kill any Demon King at all. Can he just continue living here? System said, of course not. Killing the Demon King is the player's mission. System message comes one after another asking La Ping to please start his adventure. The system kept urging him to leave the newbie village and start an adventure. But besides nagging, it can't do anything to La Ping. So to hell with what Demon King. La Ping just want to live like this forever, because there is a special time barrier here that can completely hide the newbie village for safety, and inside the barrier, a day has far more than 24 hours of time perception, which also allows La Ping to do more things he like. La Ping do farming and level up. He do hunting and level up. He sew forging and level up. He still know nothing about swords and magic. But for him who doesn't go out for adventure, those are not important at all. Through exchanging points from newbie tasks, he slowly built his ideal pastoral home from scratch. Until one day, newbie system get too angry at La Ping. System yell at him that, How can he be this outrageous in this world of sword and magic every day? He only know how to farm and fare, ignoring system's suggestions completely. How is this a legendary hero at all? Laping only know how to play with newbie points and exchange them for maintenance tools. He don't want to learn any sword skills or magic at all. System's various adventure assistance functions have no room to play at all. System hate it. System hope. Laping dies soon by the Demon King. And then system crashed, and then disappeared. Laping was now free and was doing farming to survive. And one day when Laping saw that the firewood seems to be running low, so he thought he should prepare some first. But he forgot to bring his axe back from the woods when he went out to chop wood in the morning. Suddenly, Laping noticed that dark clouds are forming with lightning. Laping said that there's no way at this time it will rain. But Laping don't know that it's not raining clouds, but it's a magic circle which Elizabeth used to teleport there. Elizabeth said that she finally found the legendary hero. But Laping ignores her and runs towards the house, shouting that it's going to rain heavily all of a sudden. And all his clothes and dried fish are going to get wet. Elizabeth was lost of words. Laping said, luckily he made it in time. Otherwise, his dried fish and sausages would have gone bad. Wang Kai, an electronic pet dog for companionship, comes running towards Laping. Wang Kai run around Laping to play. But Laping told Wang Kai to stop it, because it's about to rain, so hurry back inside. Suddenly, Laping hear a sound. When he looks at the sky, he saw something flying in the sky. He asked Wang Kai that what's that thing in the sky. Elizabeth told Laping that he is quite dull. How dare he address her as something? Laping said sorry to her, saying he didn't see it clearly earlier. Laping was thinking, why did someone suddenly come here? Isn't the newbie village supposed to be completely safe? Elizabeth decided to let's verify first if Laping is the hero or not. Elizabeth threw the holy sword at Laping. Laping asked her to wait, but it was too late. Laping was scared, so he covered his face by his hand. Elizabeth was surprised to see that the holy sword didn't hit Laping and turns around and get in his hand. Laping consciously grabbed to the sword and moved it like the legendary hero. But he returned back to normal, was confused that something suddenly flew into his hand. Elizabeth was also confused to see Laping. What's going on? The recognition of the holy sword alpha can't be wrong. But Laping's magic sensing ability is so low that even ordinary soldiers surpass it. She thought, could it be that Laping is hiding his true power? Elizabeth was very angry. She made a magic circle and shouted that she is Elizabeth, the strongest demon queen in history. And today she shall completely obliterate Laping, the legendary hero. Laping get too scared when he hear that she is demon queen. Laping was thinking that why is she here when he haven't left this place. Wang Kai was barking at Elizabeth. Laping told Wang Kai to shut up. Don't provoke her. Laping saw that Elizabeth used her abyss magic and many magic circle appeared in the sky. Elizabeth used extinction magic and summoned many giant rocks to throw at Laping. Laping understand now. As Tai System said, the meeting between the hero and the demon queen is inevitable, even if he never left the newbie village. Laping turned around and threw the holy sword. Now there's nothing more to say. He started waking towards his house, but his legs were shaking in fear. He was thinking that so far he've been a newbie noob. But the final boss has come knocking, so besides accepting his fate, what else can he do? Laping grabbed his door and looks back, thinking perhaps he should be content. He have no regrets, knowing he could spend such happy times here. Laping goes inside the house thinking that in the end, he will return to zero with this home. Laping closed the door as he have accepted his death. But Elizabeth gets angry because what it looks like to her that Laping smiled at her and challenged her to come if she can. Elizabeth shouted that it's unbelievable. Laping is an arrogant bastard. She launched those giant rocks at Laping's house. When Wang Kai saw those rocks, suddenly some commands started running in his mind. When those rocks were about to hit the house, Wang Kai's calculation was completed. From Wang Kai's stomach missile launcher and many more weapons pop up. Wang Kai turned into War Robot and destroyed all those giant rocks with his missiles. After destroying that giant rock, Wang Kai started barking again at Elizabeth. Elizabeth said as expected. The hero from the legend dares to be so arrogant. It turns out he rely on having an advanced magical tool with awakened sentience. She unleashed her power and said that in front of her everything is inferior. In the sky, it looks like clouds are going to falling. But it was Elizabeth's apocalyptic magic. Elizabeth said she lost interest in probing the hero any further. So let's end it here. The magic she used this time is earth recasting. A super laugh in RG ball started falling from the sky towards the beginner's village. Again, Wang Kai started calculating the attack power. And as his calculation completed, Wang Kai's mouth opened and a black energy ball started farming. When that black energy ball saw sufficient energy, then Wang Kai launched it at Elizabeth. Elizabeth easily dodged that black energy ball, saying it's useless. That black energy ball hit Elizabeth's super large energy and disappear. Elizabeth laughs and told Hiro to disappear obediently along with this land. But to her surprise, Wang Kai's black energy ball was a quantum mechanical black holes. It blasted and absorbed Elizabeth's super large energy ball and disappear. Elizabeth was too stunned to see that her apocalyptic magic has been cracked. Elizabeth was scared, thinking, what did Hero La Ping do inside the house to crack her magic? But little did she know that La Ping was simply lying on his bed, all prepared and is waiting for death. Elizabeth comes down on the ground where Elizabeth was. She looks at Wang Kai. Wang Kai looks at her with an anger while barking at her. Elizabeth started laughing like crazy. Then her eyes turns black and she said that unexpectedly. In the end, it's she who underestimated legendary Hero. But Elizabeth's hand started extending, her wings extended. And because more scary, she told Hiro to don't get too conceited. Because so far she've only used less than 30% of her power. Elizabeth powered up and goes in her demon god form. She shouted, "Impudent scoundrel, I show you what real terror is." Elizabeth fly towards Wang Kai with her full power. And Wang Kai also goes in his war robot mode to fight Elizabeth. There was huge energy blast when both of them collide with each other. 1 hour later, La Ping fall asleep with waiting for his death. When his sleep break, he wakes up thinking have he already died. But when he looks forward, he saw the same things he had in his house. He was surprised that isn't he still at home. When he stand up, it seems quiet outside too. La Ping grabbed the door lock with his shaking hands. He was scared, thinking that the demon queen wouldn't be waiting for him out there like a maniac, right? La Ping slowly opened the door and looked outside. There was smoke everywhere, and that he was Elizabeth in demon god mode who has destroyed Wang Kai. She cracked Wang Kai's front screen with her big nails. When Elizabeth saw La Ping, she threw Wang Kai's body and turned. Elizabeth's eyes were full of killing instincts. She said to La Ping that she is truly sorry, that she completely destroyed the magical tool he was so proud of. As she was coming towards La Ping, he was too scared. He told her that it's okay. Can't they sit down and talk? Elizabeth said, sure, they can talk after she killed La Ping. But Elizabeth's head started shaking. Elizabeth thought that this is unbelievable to push her to her limits. Is this the ending that was foretold for her? And at last Elizabeth lost consciousness and fall on the ground. La Ping was surprised to see her falling down. He held her in his arms and asked her if she's okay. Elizabeth's demon god mode started dissipation. As her armor was despairing, her clothes started despairing. La Ping was too shocked to see it. He asked her that what is she trying to do, but Elizabeth's all clothes despaired. La Ping got a solid nosebleed after seeing Elizabeth's naked body. After some time at night, Elizabeth was sleeping on a bed while she was handcuffed. But she was wearing clothes now. Suddenly she wakes up. She couldn't believe that she, the demon queen, has suffered a humiliating defeat. And instead of taking the opportunity to kill her, Hiro imprisoned her. Did he do it to show his power to the world? Elizabeth gathered her abyss magic in her hand to break free, but her magic didn't work. Elizabeth thought that this handcuffs are another legendary class artifact she've never seen. Elizabeth was irritated, thinking how much power is Hiro still hiding. She looks around in the room and analyzes her surroundings. She thought that these strange things are definitely not simple. It seems this Hiro is much more wicked than she imagined. She underestimated him too much. Suddenly La Ping enters the room. He was surprised to see Elizabeth awake. When Elizabeth saw La Ping, she told him that if you want to kill her, don't expect her to beg for mercy. But La Ping didn't even listen to her. He was busy thinking that the demon queen is truly frightening. But this is his only chance to survive. He must seize it. He asked her if they can talk instead. When La Ping was putting the food, he saw Elizabeth struggling with handcuffs. La Ping told her that he just used this handcuffs as a precaution, as she know how terrifying Elizabeth is. Elizabeth was confused. She don't understand what La Ping is saying at all. La Ping believed there must be a misunderstanding between them. He said he'll unlock the handcuffs for her now, and then they can talk. But what Elizabeth understood is that La Ping is looking down at her and he is saying sorry, because from the beginning, Elizabeth had a misunderstanding. She thought she was formidable enough to challenge the hero, but she is absolutely wrong. And if she want to stay alive, then fulfill his demands. Elizabeth was angry, thinking that Hiro is threatening the demon queen. La Ping unlocked her handcuffs. La Ping said to Elizabeth that since he unlocked the handcuffs to prove that he really have no ill intentions, so as promised they should talk. Elizabeth turned around, thinking that the current situation is very unfavorable for her. Strong individuals know when to bend and when to stretch. She'll endure Hiro for now, but he'll regret his arrogance later. While Elizabeth was having all this thought, Laping was too scared, because he had now freed her. He told Elizabeth to take a rest for now. Sure, everyone is curious why Laping didn't kill the demon queen when she was unconscious. So in this world of swords and magic, Laping thought that it's perfectly normal for Elizabeth, as the demon queen, to possess a resurrection skill. Killing chickens and fish for soup is one thing, but Laping could never kill a person. However, resolving the conflict between the hero and the demon queen doesn't necessarily require killing and fighting. Laping thought that as long as he can show that he pose no threat to her and become her friend, he can continue to live happily. Laping started laughing while thinking about a master plan, but Elizabeth get more angry as she thought Laping is still mocking her. Laping asked pick up Wang Kai from outside, but he was sad that Wang Kai has become such a mess. Elizabeth asked Laping if this thing is his most powerful magic tool. Laping thought, what magic tool? It's just a little thing he made while living here out of boredom. But he was too lazy to explain it to Elizabeth, so he told her that she could say that. He told her that Wang Kai was developed by him just recently. When Elizabeth heard that, she had a smile on her face. She thought that this time, it's Laping's turn to be careless. After untying the handcuffs, she secretly used Abyss Infinite magic to recover quickly. And Hero, after losing the protection of his most powerful magic tool, is like losing his right arm. She thought that the balance of power has tilted towards her. She stands up on the bed with full of killing intact. She said sorry to Laping for breaking his things. Laping told her that it's okay. The memory card is still safe. He pulled out the memory card from Wang Kai's head. Elizabeth was ready to use her world-destroying magic on Laping. She thought that this moment is the best time for her to eliminate the legendary hero. But right before Elizabeth could attack, Laping opens the closets, where was many Wang Kai's body. He told Elizabeth that since the body can't be repaired, so he made a lot of preparations here. Elizabeth was too stunned to see that many Wang Kai. Laping picked one Wang Kai and put that memory card in it. New Wang Kai opened his eyes and started moving around him again. Laping told Elizabeth that it's fun to have a companion, but sometimes it's naughty, so Laping usually only activate one at home. Now Laping and Wang Kai looks like some devil to Elizabeth. Elizabeth was too scared, she fall on the bed saying that there is no way, it's not possible. Suddenly Elizabeth smells something. She asked Laping, what's the smell? Laping told her that when he saw her faint, he made some food to warm her up. It was regular meat porridge and regular dumplings. Elizabeth said that only the weak need to eat. She have reached a transcendent state and don't need these things. Elizabeth said that, but her stomach start making sound. Elizabeth was embarrassed. Laping get happy because he thought that resolving conflicts with delicious food can surely work. Laping told Elizabeth that these are all made from vegetables and grains he grew himself. It's completely natural. He asked Elizabeth to please have a taste. Elizabeth, while hesitating, pitched one dumpling. She take a bite. She didn't say anything and just eat it. Laping was nervous looking at Elizabeth, although he is confident in his cooking. Will the demon queen with her status appreciate these newbie village things? Elizabeth one by one. Eat all the dumplings. Elizabeth said that with each bite, the meat juices burst like fireworks in her mouth. A natural and unadorned flavor. It also contains a high concentration of magical energy. Elizabeth was too satisfied. She didn't know before that this world actually has such a delicacy thing. It's so delicious that she, the demon queen, can't bear to swallow that last bite. When she swallowed it, she was shocked. Elizabeth's heart skipped for a second. A volcano of spices erupted in her mouth. Elizabeth could barely control herself. She was too embarrassed to show this side of her. She told Laping that it's so spicy. While shaking her body, Elizabeth asked Laping what did he add to the food. Laping was too scared because he added a bit of chili according to his own taste. He asked if the demon queen not handle spicy food. Elizabeth looks at Laping and thought that, just as expected of Hero, there were no good intentions. This evil hero has imprisoned her just to use her for research experiments. But at that moment, Laping remembered that there is this thing. He told Elizabeth to try century egg and lean pork congee. It clears heat and reduces fire. Elizabeth thought that this hero is too evil, feeding poison on one hand and providing the antidote on the other, playing with her in the palm of his hand. He thought that there's no way around it. This strange feeling is too uncomfortable. Elizabeth picked up the spawn and took a bite of the porridge. The second Elizabeth put in her mouth, her mind traveled to the heaven. That was a very peaceful feeling. Elizabeth was too comfortable. The quest for world domination, the struggle between the demon queen and the hero, all of these disturbances no longer concern her, letting go of everything, living carefree. But because of this, the Chiva discovered how truly insignificant she is. Elizabeth advanced in breaking through at the same time. Now Elizabeth is 3-star demon queen. It was surprisingly to Elizabeth that by consuming food, she was brought into a new realm. Under the influence of 2 extreme stimuli, her power has once again advanced. Elizabeth told Leping to don't pretend. She asked him, what do we want? Leping smiled little as he was sacred. He said he just want them to research how a demon queen and a hero can coexist. Elizabeth was now nervous because she thought Leping is telling her that in this world, Elizabeth is the only one qualified to be the subject of his research as the hero, and he is asking Elizabeth to come let him help her become stronger, and then she defeat him. Leping asked her if that is okay. He'll also continue making delicious food to serve her. Elizabeth get more angry because she thought that Anai may be killed but not shamed, and she is the demon queen. How could he do that to her? It looks like to her that Leping is telling her that if she want to become stronger, he can help her. He is also looking forward to whether she can defeat him. But Elizabeth controlled herself and said, never mind, forget it. Leping get nervous. He thought she is telling him to forget his proposal. He thought, is she still going to kill him? Elizabeth stand up on the bed and asked Leping to listen to her. She said she can agree with his conditions, but he should know this. He is doing this not out of fear but to pursue the pinnacle of strength. Leping was confused when he heard that she would fear him. She is the demon queen. She hold the power, she can do as she wish. Elizabeth laughs and told Leping to don't think that she'll lower her head and be submissive while living here. Her dignity as the demon queen must never be violated. Otherwise, even if she have to sacrifice everything, she'll destroy the hero. Leping was too scared to see her. He said he understood. He asked her to let's try to get along. Flies quickly and 1 year has passed in the beginner's village. Now Holy Sword has been used as wood chopping tool. The atmosphere around the house is calm. But Leping's mind is now calm. Leping don't know what should he do because things have gotten too complicated ever since the demon queen. Elizabeth forcibly entered and broke the protective barrier of the newbie village. Time here has gradually synchronized with the outside world. Time synchronization isn't the issue, but what's disastrous is that without the barrier's protection, the newbie village has lost its concealment function and is completely exposed in the wilderness, and the monsters appearing nearby don't seem to be so simple. There are giant dragons, fire phoenix, and many more monsters are roaming the grounds. Leping know that he couldn't deal with any of them. He has the holy sword, but he can only use it to chop woods, but because of the demon queen's presence here, monsters don't dare to approach. Leping thought that does this mean that once the demon queen leaves he will die? Suddenly Elizabeth's voice comes from inside the house asking Leping that it's lunchtime. Why isn't it ready yet? Leping get nervous when he hear that voice every time he reply that he is coming right away. So now Leping know that he must seek Elizabeth's protection if he want to survive in this world. The demon queen was watching the drama from the human world on the television. She watched drama all day and eat potato chips while lying on the comfortable sofa that slim and hot Elizabeth has turned into a fatty drama addict. She even complains that she is tired of watching these recordings of Leping. She asked him that can't he get something new from that system of his. Leping comes inside the room while holding a bowl full of food. He told Elizabeth that the system has long disappeared so it is impossible. He asked her to come on because he've prepared lunch. Elizabeth sit up and asked Leping to just give her a moment. She moved her finger in air and used a magic spell. 2 wings appeared on her back but they were too small compared to when she was a proper demon queen. Elizabeth slowly fly with those wings of hers to travel to the kitchen. Elizabeth asked Leping that what kind of poison is in these chips he is feeding her because she feel like the more she eat the lazier she become. Elizabeth was angry thinking that Leping is using the guise of delicious food to paralyze her with these slow-acting poisons, trying to lead her to total depravity. This is too delusional. Leping told her that these chips are high in calories. Eating too many can easily accumulate fat and people naturally become fat. When Elizabeth was surprised to hear the word fat, but when she looked at her body she really has accumulated too much fat. She tried to touch her stomach but it was too soft and squeezy. Elizabeth flicked her finger and used her deep sea magic on herself. The magic she used was negative attributes, conversion, and this magic transformed Elizabeth back to slim and hot. Demon Queen Elizabeth thought that Leping feed her all this so he can make her weak. She said sorry to him because all the fat that accumulated in her body has been converted into magic power. On the other hand, innocent Leping was amazed to see that magic can be used like this. Elizabeth laughs because another trick of Leping has foiled by her. She asked him how do he feel. Very disappointed. Leping could laugh and agree to whatever she said. He said whatever Elizabeth say is right and ask her eat. Elizabeth's mouth watered after seeing the food placed in front of her. She said that today's lunch suits her taste perfectly so she won't hold back. Elizabeth turned slim but her habits are still that of a fatty. She was eating like animal Leping. asked her to wait and eat slowly, but she didn't listen to him. He told her that if it's not enough he can make more. It doesn't matter if she eat more. Elizabeth stopped for a second and looks at Leping. She thought, what does Leping mean to say is that Elizabeth is still too weak. She should fatten up before he kill her. Elizabeth get more angry after imagine all that. Leping said for dessert he'll go get it for her. Elizabeth thinking, is Leping really treating her like a pig? In this past year she've broken through more than 10 times. She should have the ability to challenge Leping now. He was going to ask him to let's have a decisive battle. But Leping take out Elizabeth's favorite pudding lug from the refrigerator. Elizabeth's mood swift from anger. When she see the pudding she jumped from her sit in joy and asked Leping to give it to her. Leping thought that fortunately this demon queen isn't that difficult to deal with. Having the right food can calm her down easily. On the other hand, miles away from the beginner's village an old man was running away. He was not alone. A green-haired girl was also running away with him. Some ghost-like entities who were making click-click sound were after that old man and the girl. A ghost jumped from behind to attack. That ghost has scary nails and with it he tear the space. He used spatial tearing magic to attack both of them. When the old man saw it he run more fast to dodge, and just when he was about to get out of the range that ghost pull in her hand and the spatial his strike get more strong and reach the old man immediately. But that was not a damage dealing attack, instead. It was a trap named Nail Cage to trap both the old man and the girl in it.